You're watching Minister's Material with Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa.
We tell people, go find a good church. What is a good church? How do I know? There is no manual. There is nothing written that can guide me. And this person's senses are never exercised. And we allow him to make decisions. Go and choose the church that you want. Knowing, discerning both good and evil, looking at something and you can tell this thing is good. And you look at something, you can tell this thing is bad. Before you can see the manifestation. Some of you, it's not like you have been doing it over and over again. You look at something. Actually, that's why I could, when we got into ministry, during the early stages of ministry, I could sometimes trust people. I was very quick to trust. Not even consulting the prophetic, but I would just look at somebody, then trust the person. But my wife was very reserved. She would take her time. And then she would tell me about the same person when everything seemed to be okay. She would say, but normally a person with such statements would definitely be a problem. Okay? She's judging from the statements because that's the fruit, that's the outcome. It's something that is coming out of him. A place that is good, how can you have such words coming out? And sometimes it would go for 2 years. And then I would see it and say, really, you were right. It only happens when you exercise and you make proper judgments. You look at a person and you know. All of us, okay, let me show you something. Let me show you something. Leaders, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. If God is going to be using you, right, to do some outstanding miracles, even raising the dead, and somebody is going to fake it, you pray, you fast, you go 10 hours in meditation, seeking the face of God, developing the strength from within. And then God uses you to perform one miracle. And somebody just sits on a computer and he fakes it. When you see that on the screen, are you able to discern the difference? And the devil is taking advantage of that because he knows most people, they don't have that power to discern the difference. To discern. You know that thing that appeared on Prophet Branham, the light that appeared on his head. I think most of you have seen it. It was because it was during their time, not our time. Simple. It was believed because it was during their time. People that had their senses exercised, not during our time. They will not believe that. That's some kind of a bulb, or I don't know what they did, these camera guys. Which means even if God is going to be using you according to that magnitude, you are not going to achieve a lot during our time with that kind of a level. Because you are dealing with a people that have got a different mindset. They cannot discern the difference. Wow. Not many. That's why, actually, it is also an advantage. So that we can have a lot of people also trying to serve God in their different areas. Because if people had their senses exercised, most of us, we were going to run out of positions. In fact, they ran away from positions. But we enjoy it because we know the people, they don't know. They cannot discern. That is why even myself, when I meet people first time, and then they trust me, they tell me all sorts of nice things, I will know that they don't know. That's a sign that they don't know. If they are quick to accept me, they are also quick to accept another person. They don't know the tree. They don't know the tree. Somebody stands up and he says, I love my wife. And he mean it. Are you able to feel it? And somebody comes up and he says, I love my wife. Are you able to see the difference? It's an exercise of the senses. And when you know how to do that as a leader, you find yourself making the right decisions every time. You might miss here and there, but listen, you don't make mistakes every time. Why? Because you are exercising your senses to discern. Character. You see a person, don't just look at what he's doing or what she's doing. Look in the inside. I remember some years back, I used to talk about the difference between the fruit of the Spirit and the gifts of the Spirit. And I tell people every time that never should you look at just the gift and you end there. Can I shock some of you? When the Bible says we prophesy in part, do you know what is causing us to prophesy? You want to know what is causing us to prophesy? It is because people don't know. When everything is known to everyone, prophecy becomes insignificant. I come to you and I tell you something because you don't know. If you knew it, there was no need for me to come and prophesy. So it's a gift that is riding on ignorance. The moment ignorance is taken away, Why should I prophesy and yet you know it already?